Hey guys, this is Comic Uno, and today I'm doing a review for Green Lantern Corps issue 21, and this is starting the new creative team for this series. And before I start talking about this, actually I have a big update that I'm doing. Usually I do in-depth reviews for Dark Avenger Inc., but now I have a show coming, Dark Avenger Inc., where I'm going to do every comic, including some exclusive comics, for that show and review every comic in one show. I know a lot of you guys have been asking for me to do that, but I like the in-depth reviews I do on my channel, so I want to keep the in-depth reviews like I do with separate reviews and put on Dark Avenger Inc. That way you have one place where you have all my thoughts on all the comics. So instead of doing in-depth reviews on these comics, these are the exclusive comics you'll see on those shows that you won't see on my channel, which is Ultimate Comics X-Men issue 27, Guardians of the Galaxy issue 3, and Superboy issue 21. So if you want to go check out those exclusive reviews, check out the first episode of Comic Uno on Dark Avenger Inc. So in the description below there'll be a link for Dark Avenger Inc. and annotated will be the first episode of Comic Uno. It should be up after all my topic videos and everything on this channel. Also, another update is that I have a vlog coming, but not today. Usually I have it right after my reviews, but I wanted to do a vlog of us seeing Man of Steel and everything, so it'll be up on Saturday because I'm going to be seeing it Friday, and the review should be up Friday. And then also, New Motherverses, Tiffany guest stars technically, and I sing in it, so if you want to go check that out, that'll also be annotated. But let's talk about Green Lantern Corps issue 21. I really like the cover. Honestly, I just picked up Green Lantern Corps. I usually don't pick up this series unless like epilogue's happening or something big. That's usually what you'll see me pick up Green Lantern Corps in the past. But I want to try out every Green Lantern series with these new creative teams, and I really like the cover. The cover looks I like always that painted type of style, and we get to see that here. And this is a John Stewart issue, and I guess if you guys are fans of John Stewart, you might like it. And this is Robert Venditti, who also writes Green Lantern, so I'm guessing you are gonna, well, I know you're gonna see tie-ins of from both series, which you should be seeing anyways with these type of titles anyways. But let's talk about this issue. This is a John Stewart issue with Felicity, I think Felicity, or is it Fatality? I'm sorry. I haven't read Green Lantern Corps in a while. Fatality is, you know, the love interest of John Stewart, who's also a Star Sapphire. And we get to see a little bit of their chemistry, and John Stewart not really wanting to be in a relationship with her, but does love her, you know, and not... He's saying it's complicated, so he doesn't want to say, oh, I'm in love with you, but Fatality's saying, I'm ready to say I'm in love with you. So we're going to see a little bit of that complicatedness of their relationship, which is always interesting. Then we also get to see the whole Green Lantern Corps, you know, after issue 20 of Green Lantern, you know, the last issue of Jeff Johns. We get to see the aftermath of all that, and how the Green Lanterns are reacting, and how the new Guardians are reacting, and then we get to see the new recruits, which is where, you know, it makes perfect sense that Green Lantern Corps is showing these new recruits, and a lot of them are interesting and diverse. One's a mother of a child, another is a warrior at a like Coliseum type of stadium, another one is just kind of like an outcast from his race. So a lot of these newcomers are very interesting, and that's something that I hope we get to see more in the Green Lantern Corps book. And that's pretty much what's happening here. And then we also have one guy who wants to defeat the Green Lanterns, like always. You have a villain who wants to defeat the Green Lanterns, which is the villain plot of this whole entire issue. But I really liked it. You know, I'm not a humongous fan of John Stewart. You know, I just never really followed his stories that much comic-wise. I really like him in Justice League, and I like him as a hero. You know, I'm glad that he's an iconic Green Lantern, and especially from the Justice League cartoon. I've never really followed his stories. I just recently been following Kyle's stories through, you know, Green Lantern New Guardians, but I've always been a Hal person. You know, I've always followed Hal's stories, and honestly, I'm pretty new to Green Lantern myself. You know, I mean, pretty new. I've been reading Green Lantern for about 2 years now. I would say about 3 years now. So I've been reading it for a while, but I've always been a Hal person. You know, as the length I've been reading comics, I wasn't a fan of Green Lantern, just jumped in, honestly, when the movie trailer came out. And even though the movie wasn't that great, I got into Green Lantern. But that's why I'm, like, starting to get into some of these Green Lantern characters. And that's why I just never really got a chance to read Jon Stewart. And maybe that's why I didn't love this issue, but I still really liked this premise of this issue. I really liked, we're getting to see these new Green Lanterns and how diverse they are, and that's something I really want to see in the future, and why I will be debating to see if I want to get the next issue. But the question is, do I want to follow Jon Stewart's story? Am I invested to his character enough to follow his story? So that's a question. But I thought this was a pretty good start for this series. I don't know if Robert Venditti is going to be continuing this series. I hope he is, because then he'll have 2 Green Lantern titles under his belt that he knows what he's doing with both of them, try to weave them together, because you do get to see that weave in this, that weaving with this issue where you're like, alright, well, their new Green Lanterns are coming, you know, everything's distressed. We have that aftermath that we saw in that Green Lantern issue 21, and now we're going to see more of that, but through Jon Stewart's eyes, which I thought was really cool. And then we get to see Fatality, which is kind of like the Carol Ferris of Green Lantern, but a whole totally, definitely complicated relationship. But it's kind of nice just, again, seeing stuff through Jon Stewart's eyes, which is kind of related to Hal's eyes. In a whole different way. But it's kind of nice how they do weave both titles together. So I might give it another try. You know, I definitely enjoyed myself reading this, you know. I didn't think it was perfect, but I think there's a lot of great stuff here that could continue a great story. I'm not sure about the villain. I thought he popped in a little after, and like, I don't know if he totally needed a villain yet, but you know, sometimes we always have to have villain stories. Another thing I really liked was the art. You know, I was actually pretty impressed by it. I didn't love the art from the last series. The only art I loved was from the Green Lantern series. So this is actually really, I like this style of art. You know, I don't want to say like computer type of art. I don't think it is, but it's just very simple, I would say, you know, and I don't know how I can describe it, but I just like this type of art for this. I think the coloring really works for it. So good art, and I think a good start for this story. So I am going to give this a 3.5. Debating if I should pick up the next issue, but for Jon Stewart fans, this is a must pick up because I think it's a really good start. It's just debating if you want to pick it up if you weren't a Jon Stewart fan in the past, because this is a Jon Stewart series now, which is great because we're getting this character that really didn't get the spotlight in Green Lantern Corps in the past because it was more Guy's title, but now he is getting the spotlight. So this is great for Jon Stewart fans, so I say pick it up. But I hope you guys enjoyed. This is Comic Uno, and guys, don't forget to follow me on Twitter for Comic Uno in their end situations, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.